The main event it's obviously a rematch of a fight that ended with a foul, and it was called a no contest. And we kind of got to see a little bit of what was capable of happening between the two. And it'll be interesting to see, will either fighter or will both fighters change their approach now that they've actually had a little bit of a feel for their opponents, seen what they have, seen that size, the length of Johnny Walker. Will say, is Magomed going to start to try to wrestle sooner, or is he going to go right back to his striking? It's an interesting match. Look, both these guys are good, and let's be honest, Ankalaev is in the top of the light heavyweight division, and he's a guy that you could say he could be the champion, if he fought smarter sometimes and used his skill set the way that you would really want him to. But many times he goes about being a stand-up fighter, and his stand-up is good, but his wrestling is damn good too. And there's many times he could take the fight, you would think, to the ground, but he likes to be in the stand-up. And against Johnny Walker, I think you're facing Johnny's strength by putting him in the stand-up game, especially with the explosiveness of Johnny Walker, the knees that he brings up. He can bring that knee up very high. He's very good at, you try to take him down, he can bounce off of one leg and he lands shots that hurts people. This is a great matchup. It really is. And again, like, we saw a little bit, but we didn't see enough.
Yeah.
And so this is an interesting rematch. I'm glad they put it back together.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys go back to our year-end show and kind of where I thought I would end up seeing Ankalaev by the end of 2024, John, what was my pick?
You said he would be wearing the belt.
I said I thought he'd be wearing the belt if we could get him to fight a little bit smarter. Like, utilize the rest. I'm not saying you need to go out there and just lay and pray, but what I'm saying, though, is go out there and utilize something that you have worked so hard for over all your years of training. You can wrestle better than any of these guys in this weight class. I'm a firm believer. Like, if he just sticks to it, and I'm not saying he needs to go out there and said, like, and lay and pray. Stick the combinations in the face, throw the kicks, let the hands fly a little bit, get them to retaliate, and go ahead and get that easy takedown. Control the top position, make them work to get back to their feet, and then go ahead and let the hands fly again until you get another easy takedown. I feel like if he was to take that style and that approach with Johnny Walker, this would probably be one of his easiest fights in the division. But the fact that he doesn't fight smart puts him in this position of potentially being knocked out. Now, if I recall in the first fight, I can't remember what you commented on my steak, but as I recall in this fight here, which was way before my steak, was that he hit Walker with a really nice body shot. And in that body shot, Johnny kind of hunched over, and luckily he didn't wrestle. Ankalaev didn't wrestle that time because Johnny threw a flying knee right at the right moment that would have decapitated him. But you've got to know when to set these things up. And I think he saw the writing on the wall. Johnny's known for those explosive movements. And just letting those hands go, coming forward, setting them up, waiting for Johnny Walker to retaliate is the perfect opportunity to lower your level, to get in on the body lot, or just snatch the single and get to the takedown. If he takes that approach, I can't see him not being champion by the end of 2024.
See, but Johnny Walker has been a much smarter fighter ever since he decided to go to Ireland and SBG. Him and John Kavanagh have really hit it off. John comes up with good game plans, and for the most part, Johnny has been following those, and he's been successful. He's gotten his career back because he was in that position where he'd been getting knocked out big time by some guys, and you can only take so many. And I think Ankalaev kind of looked at it like, I can knock him out. I can not, I'll knock him out too. And it's very possible he can, but it's going to be an easier thing to have happen if he has to deal with more than just your stand-up. Make him have to think about you taking him down. Make him have to worry about some of those things that you're so good at, and put him in a position where he's not comfortable. That doesn't mean he's on his back, but not comfortable knowing exactly what you're going to do. Because when you have someone who's guessing, then the fight becomes hard for him.
Johnny Walker's an extremely talented person. John Kavanagh is one of the best coaches in the game.
Yep.
Where I look at this fight, though, John, is that Johnny Walker, his only chance is to get the knockout. I don't see a submission there. I don't see a ground and pound. maybe in the exchange, he clips him, in the exchange of getting
You don't
up.
think he could submit him?
No.
He's got a hell of a darce.
I don't think he can submit him. I don't think there's any opportunity outside of him catching him in an exchange, because Johnny Walker, I think, is the faster, unorthodox style of stand-up. The punches and kicks will come from weird angles in moments that Ankalaev will not be expecting it. So when I talk about John Kavanagh and his game planning, it's going to be very hard for him to run up a game plan when you're dealing with the fighter who's not as good as your opponent. I don't think that Johnny Walker doesn't have the wrestling, doesn't have the submission, doesn't have the stand-up, the cleanliness, the actual true technique of fighting. Johnny Walker is not on the level of Ankalaev. That doesn't mean he can't win. He's got the power. He's got the shot. I feel like he's a little bit more explosive than Ankalaev. Yeah, he's more explosive, and I think he's got more power in his hands. And like I said, the punches that come from weird angles, those traditional style fighters that are used to clean technique, they have a harder time dealing with it because punches come from upwards, from cross over the top, the top. Like, they're not used to defending those type of techniques when they come in. How does someone like John Kavanagh game plan for that against someone who is, to me, I feel like Ankalaev is the better fighter all the way around.
Well, do you not kind of take a page out of what Jan Blachowicz kind of did in their title fight and start to say, we're going to eat up his leg. I want you to eat that leg, that lead leg up, because we saw that Ankalaev, he puts a lot of weight on that front foot. That is part of the way that, he applies his stand-up game. If you're Johnny Walker, why not attack that low? Look at the low calf kick it's a game changer. It's an equalizer. It can take someone who has a decided advantage, and then all of a sudden the advantage is gone because it deadens the leg to the point where you can't really use it in the same fashion. You can't shoot off of it. You can't really bounce off of it or feel like, you have stability in your stand-up. It's a game changer. And I think that Jan Blachowicz basically showed how to attack Ankalaev. He just didn't continue on with it for long enough.
I would agree. The only problem is it was a calf kick, but it was an inside low calf kick. And I felt like it was more bone on bone. And he was able to catch him a couple good shots to that bone. And then, as well as I know, when you start catching that inside leg kick on the bone, or you check something, that anything after that starts to accumulate and hurts. No different than an outside calf kick, but that's more muscular and like that nerve that runs down that leg. What is it called? The perennial nerve? Yeah. So that's doing damage there. I'm not, that to me, like Jan Blachowicz, your shins have to be conditioned for something like that. I don't know if at the level of which Johnny Walker's shins are conditioned like that. It really comes down to how Jan, Polish power, maybe Polish denseness of the bones. I don't know. But for somehow, some way, it was working for Jan Blachowicz. That cannot be said. It may not be able to be said for Johnny Walker.
It's true. It might not be, but it's a hell of the blueprint's there. It worked.
I agree. And we've talked about this before. Once one fighter shows a blueprint to beating somebody, or at least having success in something, other fighters pick it up right away, because now they want to make sure that, hey, if this is working for him and I put this in my toolbox, that I can utilize it against other people and see how much success I can have against other people with it.
Yeah.
So
true.
I mean, but John, wait, you're not getting away though. Give me a winner. You're not getting away. It's a main event. Give me a winner.
It is so hard to go against Ankalaev, and that's because he is fundamentally a sound fighter everywhere. Johnny Walker, I really like, and I've had great conversations with Johnny, and he's a good person, and he can win this fight. But I got to say, the favorite to win the fight has got to be Ankalaev.
100% agree.